Well, hi. Do you wake up rested? That's a question that I need to ask myself more often because my habit is to ask people, do you sleep well? Well, sleeping well just depends on what phase of the sleep cycle you're in. But did you wake up rested? That's the real reason for going to sleep, is you wake up and do you feel happy? Are you energetic? So in this video, I want to talk about tryptophan and turkey, caffeine, exercise, and eating, and how they affect your sleep. So first, let's talk about the Tetris effect. The Tetris effect is this hallucination that comes from overstimulating the brain. And you can do this with any kind of electronic device. You could do it with a scary movie, something that too much news, but it overstimulates your brain. And what's happening is your brain needs to convert the amino acid, it's a neurotransmitter, serotonin, into melatonin so your brain can relax and go to sleep. And you're not allowing your brain to do that. You're over-revved, and now you're not sleeping. Tryptophan is the amino acid that's in turkey, and tryptophan is converted into serotonin at its own rate of need. So it's self-regulating. So that's why in some instances you could eat the turkey dinner and be very sleepy, and in another instance you may not be, and supplementation as well, because the body can self-regulate the conversion of the tryptophan into serotonin. Serotonin goes into melatonin, and melatonin is going to relax the brain. Melatonin goes directly into that pathway, and if the brain doesn't need it, doesn't want it, it's irritating to the brain, and you'll see this as anger. You can be snappy, you can be angry. So we're not too big on melatonin, but tryptophan is easy. The brain can use what it wants, and it speeds up your going to sleep. Now caffeine. Caffeine has a 5.7 hour half-life. So that means that it takes 12 hours for caffeine to completely clear your body. And if you're sensitive to sleeping, if I were to go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, my last caffeine would be 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, I like iced tea with lunch, so that would put me in a dilemma. So be mindful of your caffeine intake. If you're not sleeping so good, you do want to tail back that caffeine to before your bedtime, if it's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Exercise. Exercise will relax you, but happy exercise. The number one exercise for relaxation is walking, especially outside, because the green light, the green leaves, the forest, that relaxes your brain, calms you down. So if you have the time, on the days that you do have the time, walk for an hour, especially outside, and green when you can. Eating. Now eating, we can keep our digestive tracts very busy depending on what we ate. So we want to be very careful if you have trouble with sleeping to stop eating a good 2 hours before bedtime. If you're going out to a restaurant, you're going to visit with friends, and you know you're going to be eating late, plan ahead. Don't go straight to bed when you get home. Stay awake for a while. Let your body digest the food. You'll sleep much better. We want to give ourselves plenty of time for that relaxation of our digestive tract, so we're not working our brain, and the brain and the gut are connected, so we don't want that stimulation from the digestive tract. So I found this interesting. Newborns need 14 to 17 hours for sleep. Infants, 12 to 15 hours. Toddlers, 11 to 14 hours. Preschoolers, 10 to 13 hours. School-age children, 9 to 11 hours. Teenagers, 8 to 10, but it seems like a lot more than 10. And young adults, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And adults, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Sleep lets your brain, it's the learning phase. Learning and memory, remembering your events, memorizing, that takes place while you're sleeping. So it's very important for repair of the brain. It's an emotional repair. When we're tired, you get a little grumpy. It's because the brain is trying to regenerate its energy stores, and if it gets exhausted, we revert to more, we actually revert away from higher thinking and go into a more of a protective, defensive mode, and that's why you're grumpy when you're tired. So give these things a try. If it doesn't work for you, email me. I'm happy to answer your email, and we're happy to set an appointment to go over things in detail. Things of detail that we do look at. We look at the thyroid values, hormones, cortisol levels with the adrenal glands. So we do look at blood work in general. Because any of those things can bother, irritate us so that we don't sleep properly. Food allergies, anything that's upsetting the digestive tract, we want to investigate what you're eating. So if you're not happy, contact us. We're happy to give it a try and work on things and help you out. Thanks for watching the video. Check us out on YouTube and check out the website.